Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to welcome again here Coach Daniel and with our weekly Q&A. So, hi, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here. And I don't know where you're living in Slovakia, Veronica, but here in the Northwest, it's been like this snowstorm. So
Wow.
a lot of our friends have no power, no Wi-Fi, or both. No heat and stuff like that. So I'm just so glad, so lucky that we have power, we have internet. So far so good.
Yeah. So that's perfect. So we can go on with our Q&A. And by the
Yeah.
way, in Slovakia, it's only cold and no snow, at least in the part where I live. In the mountains, of course, but not really in our lowlands.
Good for you.
Okay, perfect. Actually, we have already got a few questions, but I cannot show them here in on the screen, but I can read them because we have a question from Ravni. And hi, Ravni. How I can how I get rid of that adrenaline and alertness my body gives me before bed? So, this is a very common question. I can start. And actually, this adrenaline and alertness, this is very common, and it's good to understand why are we having it. Uh, First of all, we need to see that what is happening is that our brain is basically protecting us. Our brain is seeing the nighttime wakefulness as a threat, and it's just because we don't experience it, we don't like it, and that's why it feels like we label it as danger. So, and when we label something as danger, our brain is like, danger. So I'm going to give you some energy so you can save yourself. You can either fight or flight. And that's why you experience these surges of energy. It can seem like the sleepiness has vanished. It can seem like you might have palpitations or actually other symptoms, other physical symptoms. And so, first of all, understanding what and why is happening, what is going on with us, is the way how to change our mindset around around this phenomenon. So when we know that this is actually only our brain protecting us, that our brain is taking care of us, then we can be much kinder and allow and create space for this experience. Because when we create space for this experience, we basically are sending back a message to our brain. Hey, it's okay. This is safe. There is no threat whatsoever over there. So this is in short how to accept these surges of energy. Why are we having them? And how to let them fade over time. So do you have anything to add, Daniel?
No much. It's like you said, the awareness, kind of understanding where they come from in itself is so helpful, because when we think like, oh no, this is strange, this means something is wrong with me, that then we have kind of a reaction to the reaction. Like the adrenaline is a reaction already. It's kind of expression of fear, like the response to it. And we think this is wrong. Then we have another layer of fear. So the awareness is super helpful. And just a quick other thing, which was that was it Ravi?
Uh, yes, Ravneet. Mhm.
Ravneet said, "How do I get rid of it?" And that's kind of key for me when we see that. I'm trying to get rid of it. It's basically saying like I'm trying to make myself not feel scared. Well, guess what? Then we're gonna feel more scared, because the brain is like sending us a message, which is like, "Hey, there's something to watch out for." And when we go like, "There's nothing to watch out for. I'm fine. Like, stop this, stop this." Then it goes like, "Oh no, you really gotta pay attention because you're trying to avoid this." Like so, when we try to get rid of it, we can see why it's happening probably often, and why it can be so intense.
Mhm. Okay, so thank you. And I think we can move on. And another question that we got in our YouTube. Um, there is a question from Adrian. Hi, Adrian. And he's asking, does wearing a fitness tracker, which also looks sleep, increase hyperarousal? I don't mind because I need to know what time it is when I wake up, but perhaps I should get rid of it. And yes, this is a very good question, Adrian, and also a very common one. And wearing a fitness tracker as such doesn't increase hyperarousal. It is the way we think about wearing a fitness tracker. This is what may um, rise the hyperarousal. And it is because at one side, it can help us, it can give us a sense of ease in a way that when we see that we slept more than we think, and it can give us, okay, I'm fine. So this night wasn't as bad as I thought. But on the other hand, when we are constantly checking our fitness tracker and we base how we feel on what the fitness tracker is showing to us, it can increase the hyperarousal. It can become a little bit tricky because uh, when the hours slept, uh, they dictate how we should feel. Then we will never come to a place of peace. And when we basically, we often think the more we sleep, the better we feel. But I would like to challenge you, Adrian, about this. Have you ever experienced moments when you slept not so great, but you had a wonderful day? And also, on the other hand, when you didn't sleep, when you slept great, and still your day was poor. So, if you think about this a little bit, you will see an answer in yourself that this fitness tracker mm, might be a helpful tool, but it shouldn't dictate us how we should live. So, in short, this is my answer. Is there anything you would like to add, Daniel?
No, no, I was smiling as you started to answer because like when I heard the question, I was like, oh yeah, this is maybe a question where we can once in a while we can give kind of a straightforward, simple answer, but not really because it always leads to kind of more discussion, right? But I'll just say this that I think you're onto something, Adrian, because kind of in my experience, I've almost always heard people say that when I stop checking the time, when I let go of the tracker, things get easier for me because the tracker was becoming a way to try to have control, and the more we have to try to have control sleep, the more slippery it becomes, right? So I feel like it's almost always helpful to not do it. But as Veronika pointed out, there are some kind of other instances where like we can get some benefit from it. It can kind of challenge ideas we have, but generally speaking, I think the idea of let go of the tracker, let go tracking is really, really sound.
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much. And we have also a thank you note from Adrienne saying, and thank you both for your teachings. Thank you, Daniel. I only discovered Set It and Forget It and this channel last week, and I have already seen improvements to my sleep. So this is wonderful.
Nice, glad to hear.
And and here we have questions from Jennifer. And hi, my lovely friends. Hi, Jennifer. Your free content has helped me so much. Thank you all so much. My 1 year is approaching in March. I'm getting better. Perfect. And actually, I have a question. Coach Veronica, do you ever have sleep thoughts still? And do you ever count the hours you sleep? Uh, so, uh, yes, I do. And I think if you would ask anybody in the world, they all have thoughts about sleep because we encounter sleep every day. We cannot avoid it. The night comes uh, every single day. We just cannot avoid it. And people, insomnia, whether they have insomnia or they don't, they talk about sleep, they think about sleep, and the only difference is when there is some attachment to the sleep topic. So I do have thoughts about sleep, but I'm not attached to it. I don't have basically any emotion. But actually, I was talking to one of my clients recently about this because he placed just the very same question. And I told him my recent experience when my child was sick. And it was really towards the morning, and I was really almost all the through the way, all the night up with him. And then before the morning, my husband came and just he switched the guard with me, and he took over. And in that instant, I just fell asleep, really, really soundly. And but I wasn't really aware at the moment I woke up that I was sleeping. And I asked my husband, "So how is it going? Any change or whatever?" And he told me, "Hey, it's already morning," and he was sick another 4 hours or so. Oh, I was sleeping 4 hours. I didn't know this. And so actually, I was happy that I slept. Why not? Because we are human. We always want to feel good. We all want to sleep well. And one learning point from this is how our brain is playing tricks on us. I had no idea that I was sleeping for hours. I thought it was just a speed of a second. And this is something to be aware of also. So, yeah, it's also answers the question if I ever count the hours I sleep. I do, yeah, but I don't give any second thought to it. That's it. So, any comment, Daniel?
No, I mean the question was for you, so very little. But the one comment I had to this one is like, we talk a lot about hypersleep because a lot of our students and clients and followers experience this as part of insomnia. Like it's time just skips ahead. I'm not sure if I slept or not. I felt I was in this superficial state the whole night. But what you're describing here is that you can have this hypersleep experience without having insomnia. When you're in a stressful situation, it's so again kind of normalizing this hypersleep experience is something that's really really helpful. So just a little comment there.
Okay. And I have a now question for you, Daniel. And it's from Straight Flash. Hi. Why are researchers so obsessed with only reporting negative things about sleep and insomnia? I'm doing my master's degree in neuroscience, and it's such a challenge not to believe all the things they say. And if you don't mind, Daniel, I would like to add one more question from our YouTube channel because it's very similar, and it's also from Ravni. And it was just give me a second. Yeah, he displayed just quite a few questions. I'm just trying to find the right one. I think it was that one I wanted to share. How can I be okay with befriending recurrence when I know insomnia can do damage to my hormones? And functioning, I have already noticed hormonal changes since the insomnia started, and it's worrying me. I can see some overlap in these two questions, and it's about how basically why we see such a negative impact on sleep from everywhere, and when we so I stop here. So
Yeah, no, it's where you're going. It's kind of like Ravani's question is basically based on everything Ravani is fed from kind of media and from research studies and articles and things of that nature. And Straight Flush here is kind of wondering why is that, right? So to Ravni, I would say that I would really question everything you hear, and we have our whole Heard Online series where we look at the truth behind this, which is that there's actually no evidence whatsoever that short sleep or insomnia causes any health issues. Now, to Straight Flush's question, I would say the following: that it's a very unfortunate situation, and I can hear you. You're enmeshed in this world, and you're being told by probably people who are mentoring you that, oh yeah, we've shown that if you don't sleep enough, this happens, and things of that nature, and your beliefs are being challenged here. But why is this? I would say it's the following: that imagine if you have decided to devote your career to sleep research. You have like a master's degree. You're doing a PhD, and you actually are pursuing. You want to become a professor or something like that. Now, where how is your livelihood being sustained? Well, it's probably being sustained by grants, by research grants that are paying for your salary, etc. And if you imagine that you would report that my 7 years of research have shown essentially nothing. Like, it's shown that if we sleep little, nothing happens. We feel tired, but nothing else. Then who is going to pay for you to do more research? Who, you need to show that, oh, I can solve this, and this is going to have a huge impact on society and humanity if I can just show that if you just sleep more, you're going to get so much healthier, and all these good things happen. Then people are going to get interested, like, oh wow, yeah, sleep is a huge problem. We're going to give you this grant so you can study this and do something about it. So your livelihood is kind of tied into reporting that there is a big problem, right? That is essential to your livelihood. So that's, I think, why it's so tricky when it comes to sleep research, because the interest of the researcher is kind of like the opposite of kind of a layperson who would benefit from hearing that there's nothing to worry about, right? And then media, of course, is very similar, because media thrives on attention. They need that, right? Media outlets, bloggers, whatever it is, they need attention, right? So they want to play up something that sounds dangerous, like attention grabbing, right? So we're in a world where these, it's very tricky, but yeah, hopefully things will change, because the truth is durable. The truth is durable, and I think it will always surface at some point or another.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daniel. And okay, we have a very nice comment from Liha. Hi, Liha. Hey there. This channel has helped me so much, so I just wanted to say thank you. Also, would it be possible to talk about napping, or rather, not being able to nap more? I'm almost a year into insomnia, and napping has been the only one thing that there's no improvement in. With insomnia, I nap all the time. Okay, I can start to comment, and actually, napping for some people it's really the last hurdle, and it's very common because uh, when we uh, when we are recovering from insomnia, there is still a lot of hyperarousal, and until really this state of hyperarousal, when it finally fades away, when it gets to really the levels that we were pre-insomnia times, it can take some time. I suffered from insomnia for years, and I've never been able to nap. Whatever night I had, it was I still wasn't able to nap. And when we are not able to nap, it's really about the hyperarousal that is playing in. Um, we just cannot. Um, sorry, I can't find my word. Um, these naps are just, you know, I want to say just that it will come with time. Despite I wasn't able to nap for years, despite I have never ever in my life was a nap person, after insomnia and after the teachings, I have found that I can nap. Not always, and it mostly happens when I'm not expecting it. And this is a very, I think it's quite important thing, because when you go and rest in the afternoon and you aim for a nap, okay, I must sleep, I have to sleep, I have to catch up on sleep, maybe from the night, then it can be tricky because you're right there monitoring, you are just, uh, you raise the hyperarousal and you get the expectations. But when you just lay down, okay, I'm just going to rest. There is no performance anxiety. There is nothing like, nothing like, uh, okay, when you aim for sleeping, you expect uh, some performance. If you fail, you cannot control sleep, so you cannot fail at it. Then you feel like it doesn't feel good. But when you aim for resting, okay, I'm just going to lie down. I just rest. If sleep happens, okay. If not, I'm still good. Then it's more likely that you are going to have a nap. So with this open-mindedness, you are going to get to a place to your pre-insomnia times, and you will find your naps again, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You were kind of nodding to me, so I was just like, okay, maybe Veronica wants me to comment on this. But uh, I would say, firstly, that I'm so glad that you found our channel and things have gotten easier for you. That's wonderful. And as for the napping, I would say, just point out, highlight what Veronica said there. That it's very, very common, super common experience and question in our community. And just as the hyperarousal fades, things get easier and naps start happening again. But if we think of another way to think of this, or to word this, is look at what naps have started to mean for Leah and other people in Leah's situation. It's kind of like everything is becoming easier for me, except I can't nap like before. It can seem like this is kind of the last thing standing in my way of being kind of completely normal, completely back to baseline, and then we can imagine in a situation where Leah goes down, lays down to nap, and the thought can be like, oh, if I can nap now, that means I'm completely back to normal. This is going to be the last hurdle now. Everything's going to be so good. There's pressure built up around what the nap starts to mean. It starts to have this meaning that if I can nap, everything is great, right? So there's some pressure there. But when we see that, it doesn't mean anything if you don't nap, right? It just means there's a little bit of hyperarousal around sleep, a little bit of fear around sleep left. And then when we see that, we're like, of course, that may take some time before naps start happening again. And we don't ascribe any meaning to whether we nap or not. And as you say, we maybe just rest, things get easier. So just a little comments there.
Mhm. Thank you so much. So shall we do one last, Daniel?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Um, let's do da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Ravneet is very eager to get the answers, so we can answer one more for you. And so, how can I befriend wakefulness and be at peace with being awake when I know how damaging insomnia can be to hormones? I have hormonal changes, irregular menstrual cycles because of insomnia. Mm, so I can start, and I think, yes, this is a very good question. And of course, when we don't feel very good, when we are in basically in our fight or flight all the time, when we are in survival mode, we can feel differently, and also we can have a physical symptom of hyperarousal and anxiety can impact the processes in our body. But we need to differentiate here insomnia with the fear of not sleeping and the sleeplessness itself. Because the sleeplessness itself, like the state when you are not sleeping, it doesn't have such an impact on our bodily processes as the anxiety and hyperarousal stemming from the fear that we are feeling. This is what I think. And because when we are in this survival mode, we are scared for our lives, basically. Even if we consciously we think we believe, I'm in my bed, I'm in my bedroom. Why am I not sleeping? And so on and so on. But your emotional brain, your really the emotional brain doesn't get it yet. It doesn't understand. So that's why everything or that your brain thinks it's not important to your survival, it puts aside, including the reproduction system. I believe so. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah. You went exactly where I was going, and I actually remember having a client. I believe it was a bedtime client who was kind of like very excitedly telling me that, "Hey, Daniel, like I got my period back," and she had not had her period for several months, and it just shows us that when we're really stressed and anxious and scared, things change in our body, like including like hormonal processes, and if you think of it the other way, when we don't understand this, of course it can be really scary when something like that happens, like, oh my gosh, my period is irregular, it's changed, this must mean I'm really sick, but when we understand kind of like how it's not hormones that dictate how we feel or think, rather it's kind of like how we think and feel that dictates how our hormonal process in our body, then things can be much easier. And I would also say that to Ravneet that Ravneet has heard that it's so important to sleep because of all the damage that supposedly not sleeping does to our body. Again, that we no medical advice here, but I've not found any evidence to support that, and we have our Heard Online series to that you can definitely dive into. That can be really, really helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Daniel. I think we got to the end of our live Q&A. There is, I see here one more thank you note from Kelsey. She wasn't placing a question and just saying thank you so much for your channel. It has greatly improved. You're new to the channel NATTO playlist. It's so helpful, and your NATTO book is so good.
Super nice to hear. We have this one too.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, we are looking forward to have you in the school. Okay. So thank you very much for today, Daniel, and I see you sometime next.
Look forward to it. Bye bye, Veronika.
Bye bye, Daniel. Bye everyone.